Less than 2 weeks remain until Exelon says it will close a pair of nuclear plants in Illinois. Legislators have been working toward a measure that would keep them open. Despite a rash of talks during Tuesday's special session, there still is no concrete path. Amanda Vinicky joins us now with more. Amanda, are they at least close?
Well, Paris, you described it as a spark, and I'd say that that is true, albeit a small one. And that's because while most of you were probably asleep at about 1 o'clock this morning, the Illinois Senate passed a massive energy bill, and that is more movement than there has been on this issue. And this is a measure that does a lot. It will, yes, have customers paying a charge on their electric bill to keep those nuclear plants open, but it also sets targets for moving Illinois to rely solely on renewable energy, and it does more.
This is about equity. This is about jobs and economic opportunity. This is about supporting communities that are in transition right now and are already experiencing the closure of fossil fuel plants, not because of any legislation, but because coal and other dirty fossil fuels are being pushed out of the market because they're just increasingly uncompetitive.
Now let's unspool this omnibus package, some starting with that nuclear component. Exelon says that its plants in Byron, then Dresden, are losing money. So without a subsidy like this one, it will shut them down. And in the case of Byron, soon it'll begin deactivating a nuclear generator there September 13th. And that would mean the loss of thousands of jobs. It also could undermine Illinois' climate goals here because Illinois' nuclear fleet is responsible for more than half of all of the energy produced in the state, but also the vast majority of carbon-free energy. Still, Bob Gallo, who's director of AARP Illinois, says customers should not be footing the bill to keep these plants open. AARP did a study, and in it estimates that it'll cost ratepayers $14 billion over the next decade.
Our concern all along has been making sure that ratepayers are represented in these conversations, and to date they haven't. And there's such a deja vu all over again about what's going on with ComEd and Exelon. This is like let's make a deal with the legislature.
Now, that's in reference to the legal trouble that Exelon subsidiary ComEd is in part because of an alleged bribery scandal in which the company worked to pass a law several years ago that similarly bailed out nuclear plants in Clinton and in the Quad Cities. But this is far from the only hurdle. A major obstacle has been over how and when Illinois will scale down coal-fired power plants. Governor J.B. Pritzker and environmentalists want all coal plants closed by the year 2045. Again, all of them. They also want all of these plants, especially one that is just outside of St. Louis, that's got contracts with municipalities, including Naperville, to have to ramp down production intermittently until that closing date.
Ultimately, we need to phase out fossil fuels from our economy altogether, but we have to make emissions reductions quickly. This is time sensitive. So the longer we wait, the more tons of carbon go into the atmosphere, the more our planet gets hotter, and the more we get things like heat waves and droughts and floods, and we're already seeing that here in Illinois. So it's not enough just to have a date where we're going to do this in some far off future. We have to have those dates, but we also need to start acting right now.
But critics, including legislators from downstate, say that premature targets and closures will force Illinois to import energy from neighboring states.
We can issue press releases that we're going to be the toughest state in the union. We're going to get rid of carbon. Really? Because here's what's going to happen. Do you know where all those MISO electric grid electrons are going to come from? They're going to get backfilled from Indiana and Kentucky primarily, which are carbon.
That, he says, or risk rolling brownouts, to which Senator Mike Hastings had this response.
That's some boogeyman talk if you're running for political office. There's mechanisms in this bill that will determine whether or not the baseload generation for the state is adequate enough to meet the demands of the consumers.
Now, you have other legislators opposing something that's really a guiding principle of this whole endeavor, and that is state support, yes, as in taxpayer money, for wind and solar energy companies. They're what State Senator Neil Anderson calls inefficient power sources. He says the priority used to be on Illinois going carbon free, but now the goal is moving completely to wind and solar. This legislation does have a target of moving Illinois to 100% renewable energy by the year 2050.
Why do you think that is? It's because all the wind and solar and inefficient power companies out there that are trying to get their hand in the taxpayer pot don't want nuclear. They don't want nuclear power. That's why we've changed the narrative. It used to be clean, now it's renewable.
Well, these are just some of the changes. State Senator Don Harmon, who, by the way, has been in the General Assembly for 18 years, spoke to those challenges, but also hinted at hope for working something out.
In my entire time in the Senate, this may be the most complicated bill and the most challenging negotiation of which I've ever been part. I met earlier today, as I have several times lately, with the governor and the speaker, and I will tell you that we have very willing and able partners in both to get this across the finish line. In particular, because our efforts to listen to the governor's priorities, to ensure that there is a hard close of carbon-emitting plants, and that there are no special deals. We heard loud and clear the requirements he would have to sign the bill.
So what's next? Procedurally, the measure heads to the House, but also more negotiating between unions and environmentalists, and also the governor, who had what I'll describe as a tepid response to the Senate plan, saying that he wants various changes to it. And really, this coal plant phase out is going to be a key part of that. Now, meanwhile, you have Exelon today issuing a statement saying that it is essentially doing all it can to keep things running at the Byron plant in case there is a legislative solution. But the corporation was explicit in its statement saying, quote, to be clear, Byron will run out of fuel and will permanently shut down on September 13th unless a law is enacted before then. So with that, Paris, back to you.
Certainly down to the final days in what feels like an endless debate here, Amanda. And I know you were probably up into the wee hours of the morning following all the action. And thank you so much.